lost. There's always a hope. Rise and fight.
This group is stacked. You guys, you gotta think about this, man. Look at our first match. eOnzErG versus Dewalt. eOnzErG, former champ. Dewalt, former champ. My favorite player every season to go the distance. Then on the other side, the champion himself, TerrOr. We've got 3 champions in the round of 16 in this same group. And then we have Messiah, who I'm unfamiliar with, but he took out Gypsy. Think about the level of Gypsy. Imagine if Gypsy was here. Like, if Messiah's even close to even in skill, this could be the most stacked round of 16 I've ever seen. And it's races across the board, so I'm mega hyped for this group.
Absolutely, man. I gotta agree with you. I'm mega hyped for this one. 2 Zergs in the group, so you already know I'm happy. eOnzErG being one of them. Messiah, as you said, I don't know much about him other than, man, if he's taking games off of Gypsy, we know he's a big problem already. And then, of course, you got Dewalt and TerrOr. I mean, Dewalt right now in form, really taking some incredible matches off even top Koreans. I'd be hard-pressed to say he's not the favorite of this group, despite it being such a difficult group. And then, as you said, man, the champion, TerrOr, holding it down on the Terran fort. So I know you're excited to see some of his games as well, man. But yeah, as you said, we're going to be kicking off with Dewalt, eOnzErG to start this off. A classic PvZ matchup. These guys have met so many times, man. How do you think this one's going to go?
I don't know. The saddest part about having so many good players in one group like this is that, you know, one of them's got to go. At least one of them's got to go. At least one champion is going to be out of there. As I stated, eOnzErG, Season 5, he was the champion. Dewalt, even though you don't see his champion status, I think it was Season 2 that he got the champion or got the championship. But look at it, 16 third, 15 second, 14 second, 13 seconds, probably 12, 11, 10, 9, 8, 7. Those are probably all seconds also. Like, it's crazy. And eOnzErG, you know, he got through his round of 24 group, but you know, the games were kind of weird, I gotta say. Like, they were very unexpected. So I actually think that Dewalt is probably gonna be favored in this matchup, but eOnzErG, he's always deadly in BSL.
Always deadly, man. Definitely someone who looks to capitalize on any holes in your game. I mean, he's so aggressive. And I always say this, but he has probably the best Zergling control of any foreign Zerg that I can think of. And I mean, I really mean that. It kind of says a lot about his play. I mean, he's beaten Dewalt before. This is his matchup, I'd say. If eOnzErG, in my opinion, eOnzErG's ZVP is just the pinnacle of his play. So, as you know, even though Dewalt is Dewalt, he absolutely cannot kind of go easy on eOnzErG because he will capitalize on it.
Yeah, the win rates are crazy. Both sides have over a 70% win rate across the board. So we're ready for game 1. It is going to be Invader, and I know eOnzErG talked about liking this map. So let's see if he can get a quick win versus Dewalt as we get into game 1 of our series.
And spawning top left side of Invader as the red Protoss, we have Dewalt.
Yeah, and in the bottom right, our blue Zerg. It is eOnzErG.
You say get a quick win against Dewalt. What are you thinking?
Well, you got that secondary ramp at your natural, right? We were talking about how eOnzErG's got some good lane control. eOnzErG is also someone who's got the killer instinct like July Zerg, like Jaedong. If he sees there's a hole, he's going for it, man. There's no, should I not? No, he's going to go. So I think Dewalt's going to need to be on top of his Zealot placement, on top of his pylon building positioning, because if there's ever a gap anywhere, those lanes will flood in and they will get in quick.
Interesting placement of that pylon. It kind of blocks the secondary ramp a little bit. I mean, maybe this is just me, but I haven't seen this a lot on ladder, so kind of interesting to see how this wall is going to end up being built out. But you know, looks good so far. As you said, there's 2 ramps. Like when I think of this map, you gotta worry about the threat of something like a 9-pool speed or any kind of quick ling speed, just because it's very difficult to block all potential, you know, entrances for Protoss on this map.
Well, in ASL, we had a few Zergs go pretty deep, and eOnzErG, who was casting it with me, obviously watched those games, and he watched how Protoss players played on Invader, and Mini, he ended up going for a 12 Nexus versus, was it 12 Nexus? I can't remember, but regardless, it was before Cannon is what I'm getting at, even versus an Overpool. Now, eOnzErG obviously has seen that game, and I wonder if he will send his lings instantly across the map to make sure that Dewalt can't get away with such a crazy opener.
He's at least saving the larva, so it's going to be difficult for Dewalt to really tell. He has to, I mean, at least expect it. But as we see, it is just 2 lings. So it will be Nexus before Cannon. Huh. I think this is fine. You know, this is absolutely a risky map to do it, but I think Dewalt was just using the information he gathered, right? That probe was seeing the larva inside the main, you know, realizing that, okay, he could only have 2 lings at this point because we only see one of those larvae being built, so good start here for Dewalt.
Well, look at this. This is exactly what I was saying. Like, I wonder if eOnzErG will send the lings across the map. Now, it looks like Dewalt must have cut something to get out his cannon in time, but if eOnzErG had done this versus Mini, like, imagine if they were playing in that game, actually, eOnzErG would have done damage here. So it was a nice idea, ends up not working out this time around. Meanwhile, the probe just being annoying as usual. That drone's got to be careful.
Yeah, getting a little bit of damage on this. This is annoying for sure for eOnzErG.
That thing's gone. I think we're too high of a level for Dewalt to let that get away. He's going in for round 2, baby. Oh no, he's not. He's backing.
Well, eOnzErG doing a good job defending that drone there. You know, lost a little bit of mining time, but really not a big deal at all.
Okay.
We have the core being built here from Dewalt. Pretty standard stuff, I'd say.
Yeah, everything looks very normal, and it doesn't seem like we're gonna have Hydrogen. And as I say that, there's the 100 gas for something. Okay, it's at the lair, at the natural is the lair, so it's not Speedling.
Smart. You know, I always kind of prefer this lair into Spire opener. That's kind of standard for this map. You know, there's really no reason for eOnzErG to try anything too tricky here early on.
Well, we've got the Zealot moving out, and I'm pretty sure the Overlord saw it, so he'll know that the Zealot is out on the map somewhere. But that probe is still alive. He's still gonna go get some more intel. I don't think that ling's gonna be able to. Oh, he did stop him. Actually, the probe glitched on that ramp for some reason, and now there's no combo attack here. This Zealot may actually just get taken down immediately. There's already 4 lings.
Yeah, great placement, great awareness there from eOnzErG to get those Zerglings to the 3rd base in time. And as you said, I mean, 1 ling trade for 1 Zealot, I'd take that all day.
Yeah, this is pretty much as good as it gets for eOnzErG. Like, look, he didn't even build an overwhelming amount of lings either. He didn't overreact. He's got 5, so that's fine. So he's just able to drone like a madman. He's got his lair done, so Spire's going to be coming up also. Everything looks pretty damn good, in my opinion, for eOnzErG. I saw in Dewalt's main it is Corsair follow-up, so everything very normal.
Yeah, with that Citadel already down as well. eOnzErG, meanwhile, getting that 4th hatchery up at the natural and continuing to drone.
Whoa, that's armor. Okay, I was like, wait a minute. There's no way he got +1 weapon already done by 5 minutes into the game, so it's just straight armor. Now, I don't know what to think about this, because +1, everybody knows, even from 1999, that +1 weapon is absolutely crazy versus lings. Use 2-shot lings. It's kind of a good breakpoint versus Hydras also, so I'm not sure what this armor is really intending to do.
I'm kind of right there with you. My guess is, I don't know, mitigate some the Hydra range attack damage, maybe for lurkers or something, but that's just a guess. I don't really know. You don't see this very often, that's for sure.
Well, if Dewalt's pulling it out, there must be some Korean pro that's been using it for whatever reason. In ASL, we had Rush in the Terran versus Zerg actually go armor on his Marines, which was interesting. So, wonder who's actually doing it. We'll see how it's actually going to work out. Now, this Sair actually gets a kill onto the Overlord. The Scourge, when they don't want anything to do with that Sair for some reason. And this other Sair is going to find this Overlord at bottom left, but may actually get taken down by the Scourge.
Yeah, he might. eOnzErG cutting it off with the second group of Scourge as well, so it's going to be close here. He might have it, actually.
Ooh,
oh, just barely missed the micro there. Ooh, DT out, though. That's always scary.
So one thing about Protoss is +2 armor power spike. Now that I know is a big power spike, and if you can go into 1-2 upgrades, which you don't really see it that often these days. In the past, we saw players experimenting with going +1 weapon into +1 armor into +2 armor, but I've never seen it done this way. But that's another power spike, or another way to get to that power spike. So if he's going to go for that, I imagine he's just not going to be attacking for the first 12 minutes or so, and then just wait for that +2 to kick in.
Whoa, that was a pretty big pickup for, once again, just an additional Zergling. eOnzErG really off to a great start here.
Yeah, everything looks
it is +2 armor. Wow.
Yeah, so it is going to be +2 armor, +1 weapon. So a different way to get there. Now the timing of the +2 armor is faster than I remember. This is going to be, I'm looking at it, this is lining up to be like a 1040 timing attack. That's going to be super strong, especially since you see the Templars are already out on the map. So he'll have like triple storm available by then. This is going to be pretty hard to stop, I imagine.
Yeah, it really seems like it. This is such an interesting build, man. I like the double cannon in the main here from Dewalt. He's extra protected, even if this were some kind of muta. He's got that buffer in place, but yeah, I don't know. I'm a little surprised he's not even trying to like move out a little bit and take a third base with this, because defensively, I think he could use Zealot, Cannon, Templar to maybe hold the third right outside.
Yeah, maybe. I'm curious what eOnzErG is thinking, because
oh wow,
Protoss has not made a move out at all. It's almost 9 minutes into the game. If I was him, I'd be thinking, wait a minute, you're not moving out? I mean, you're just letting me drone to 50 on 3 bases. If I was Zerg, I'd feel like, well, I probably just can't even lose from this position. So I don't know what eOnzErG is going to try and follow up with. I don't see lurkers. I saw mutas. If the Corsairs get taken down, these mutas could do a lot of damage.
Those Sairs are already dead. The mutas are in front. Like, man, this was a little odd from Dewalt, but I guess he just really values that scouting information, wants to know exactly what eOnzErG's up to.
Well, we've got the Dark Archon out. He needs about 30 more seconds for a Maelstrom. Once the Maelstrom comes in, these mutas are donezo. That's a good storm. Preemptive.
Yeah, that was
actually a double storm. So these mutas are really softened up. Okay, well those mutas are gonna die, man. I don't think 4 mutas beat 1 cannon. Well, I mean they may technically beat it, but you get what I mean. Like one more storm is just gonna kill everything.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's exactly what happens. Does storm a few of his own probes though, and there's no Dragoon actually, so the 2 remaining mutas starting to do some additional damage. eOnzErG doing a great job zoning with those 2 Scourge in case one of the surviving Corsairs came through. And it looks like Dewalt maybe, he's taking some damage here.
I guess I was expecting to see even just 1 Goon or 1 Sair pop out or something to just, 1 or 2 shot these remaining mutas, but these 2 mutas have racked up a lot of damage. He doesn't even get the second Mutalisk either. So, okay, now he gets it. But still, that was a lot of damage done by these 7 mutas that I thought were just going to get shut down instantly. Also loses all of his energy on the Dark Archon, so now that's a unit that is completely useless for the next 2 minutes.
Yeah, and scouted it out. Meanwhile, man, eOnzErG stacking so many Hydralisks here. He's got quite a impressive force.
Yeah, and this timing from the wall, I think, is kind of dead in the water now. Remember I was saying, like, the power spikes are going to kick in at around 1040. we're at 1040 now. There's no move out. He lost the move out timing because he doesn't have the Dark Archon anymore. He doesn't have the Corsairs anymore. So how can he really stop like a Muta Switch? So now he's just playing passively, and eOnzErG, as I stated, he's got 50 drones, 53 in fact. He's got a huge Hydra army. He could take up 4th base if he wants.
Yeah, doesn't really look like a whole lot Dewalt can do about it. Oh no, Dewalt mismining the gas in his main as well. That's always painful for PvZ.
Yep, and we've got an engagement. Remember, there was actually a decent amount of storms used for these, 7 Mutalisks? And yeah, I was going to say, if eOnzErG was to go into more Mutas, that could be annoying to deal with. Luckily for Dewalt, it's only 4. That's actually a pretty damn good storm dodge.
I mean, he should. I think eOnzErG should pull the 4 Mutas in right now and bait out the last of the storms and maybe a Maelstrom, and then he might be able to just attack this with pure Hydra.
Yeah, I think he would just win. I realize +2 armor is massive versus +1, but... And then he's doing exactly what you're saying. He just kills a Templar with 4 Mutas. Now we've got all the Hydras and the Lings coming in. There's not that many Zealots left over. I mean, where's our DPS? There's a lot of it right there with the Storm, but how many more Storms does he have left over? That's a good one, though. Hits a lot of the army. But there's so many Hydras.
There's still so many Hydras left. The Templar count has been reduced. Nice Maelstrom, though, from Dewalt. Gonna get a few Hydralisks at least, so the game will continue on. But, man, I gotta say, like, the tale is, once again, eOnzErG is just attacking, and there is no 3rd base from Protoss on the way yet.
Well, actually, those Hydras, I guess the +2 armor power spike was stronger than I thought. Actually was not able to get through. Now, that's something that I didn't realize. Does eOnzErG really only have 5 hatches? He just started, really, his 6th hatch. So he was really lacking a lot of production. I was wondering why his supply... I mean, it was decent, but it wasn't as high as I was expecting it to be. It's because he just doesn't have the larva available.
Yeah, I guess not quite. Still, the drone count's pretty impressive. 53 drones to the 46 probes of Dewalt. So I think he'll recover from here just fine. Dewalt at least taking that 3rd base now, positioning himself towards the top right high ground.
I still feel like this is a fine position for eOnzErG. He's got so many units. He's got so many lurkers. He's got his 4th base up. Where do you attack as Dewalt? You definitely can't attack where he's attacking right now. There's too many lurkers, and you used all your storm. Okay, you can go for it, but how's this going to work?
Yeah, the storms have to be great. That was a pretty decent one, getting a couple lurkers and a Hydralist.
That's the only one.
Yeah. Wow, man, the Hydra rally is just insane here from eOnzErG. I mean, at least he's hitting while eOnzErG doesn't have +2 yet. So I think the trades are looking a little bizarre, and they're actually going better for Dewalt than we're expecting.
Well, they're only going better for Dewalt than you expect because half of eOnzErG's army is at top middle.
Yeah,
eOnzErG, if he denies the top middle base, he'll win just because Dewalt runs out of money. eOnzErG doesn't need to hold this choke. Like, this doesn't matter. He even has a base to the left side. Like, even if he loses his hatch, who cares? He still has 6 more of them.
Yeah, that 4th base is pretty much undefended. Actually, eOnzErG gonna rally his units in from the back side now.
Look at what's upgrades. +3 armor, +2 weapon already at 14 minutes. It's a crazy army. Like, the army's tiny, and it's just able to survive forever.
Yeah, this is insane, man. Still no 3rd base, but the army has just been very scary. With, you know, even complemented by that Dark Archon for the Maelstroms. Looks like Dewalt finally sending a group of Zealots to try to secure this 3rd base. I mean, he did kill off the Hydra Den, so that should prohibit some Hydra production for at least a little bit from eOnzErG.
Well, actually, eOnzErG is kind of in trouble at this point because he has bled off a lot of Hydras with his rally, and these Hydras, I think, are going to die to these Zealots just because of how strong the Zealots are. And... you know, supplies were like 115 to 100 a minute ago. It's now all of a sudden 141 to 91. Also, eOnzErG has lost a decent chunk of drones just building Sunkens. So it's not as good of a position as it was a minute ago. And in fact, with Dewalt being able to expand to bottom left and having secured the natural at eOnzErG's base, like, he can cut off attacks now. Like, he can now expand to top middle, which is exactly what he's done. So he's double expanded off of this.
Yeah, this is just great army control here from Dewalt and understanding of his position. eOnzErG, though, will slip out with a group of units here, likely looking to... Oh, man, nice Maelstrom. He's clearly just trying to stop 12 o'clock from happening.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
I think eOnzErG has bled off too many units at this point, and there's no way to recover. I don't think he's on Hive Tech either, so it's just going to be Lair, Hydra Ling. Yes, he has a lot of hatches, but I mean, clearly it's just not working. I mean, look, those Zealots that got counterattacked didn't even die to those 12 Lings. None of them died. That one Goon almost survives those 4 Hydras and 4 Lings.
I mean, the upgrades for the Zerglings just have not kicked in, right? And when you're fighting against +3 armor, +2 Protoss, you're going to trade so efficiently.
Yeah, the Lings are almost not even a unit. +0 versus Protoss that starts with +1 armor. So the Lings legitimately deal 1 damage to armor. So you might as well not even build them. Okay, eOnzErG just taps out.
Wow.
I don't even blame him, man, because even though the early game went well, none of the trades went well for him, which was insane. Like, he disrupted the econ forever, but he just couldn't follow up with any killing blow onto the army.
Yeah, I mean, it was looking dicey though, right? Like, the Muta control was great. I was really impressed that he was able to actually break the 2-cannon storm inside the main as efficiently as he did, picking off probes, forcing some lost mining time, killing